Commanders, welcome back to the port. All right, so we're looking at the Royal Navy Tier 6 Premium Gunboat Destroyer Cossack, a ship that is the subject of great controversy among the World of Warships Legends player base. Our commander is level 14, legendary level 3 Philip Vine. His base trait casual avoidance increases dispersion of incoming shells. I think at max level that would be 5%. And I think it's a good base trait. He's inspired by Jersey Swirsky and Eric Bay. Our row one skill is Quick Fix, which further increases or reduces splash damage. Row 2, look at me now. Row 3, stand or fall, which reduces the reload time as the ship sustains damage. And row 4, sidestep, which also increases incoming fire dispersion. Our legendary skill, pardon me, is unstoppable. All right, so let's take a look at the upgrades. Standard upgrades for Tier 6 Destroyer. Aiming System Module 1. Propulsion Module 2. And Concealment System Module 1. Taking a look at the loadout, the Cossack has 2 charges of the smoke, 2 charges of the engine boost, and 2 charges of the sonar. The range of the sonar is 3.2 kilometers, and it lasts for what looks like 3 minutes. And it reloads in less than 3 minutes. We are using the Epic Credit Booster flag and the Rare Battle Booster, which increases our speed and lowers the reload of those consumables. We've got the Type 9 permanent camo and the 1 year strong flag. Taking a look at the stats, 14,800 hit points on this build. And here's where all the controversy is centered on. The Cossack has 3 twin gun 120 millimeter turrets, the firing range 11.3 kilometers. They reload in 4.5 seconds with this build. 180-degree turn time is 18 seconds. The HE shells do 1,700 damage with a 8% fire chance. The AP shells do 2,100 damage. If my calculations are correct, that gives the main battery guns of the Cossack a DPM of 136,000 damage per minute. As you can see in the note here, the ship's AA defenses were reinforced at the cost of 1 main gun mount. And that is where the controversy lies, folks. Because that 4th twin barrel turret was replaced by this secondary battery, which also counts as AA defense. And everyone is very upset by that. And so as you can see, that secondary gun, 102 millimeters, that's like a level 3 or a tier 3 destroyer gun. Firing range 4.7 kilometers, reloads in 3 seconds, 1,500 HE shell damage with a 6% fire chance. I don't know if anybody's ever carried out a secondary build with this ship, but I would love to see it. Torpedo launcher, 1 quad launcher, reloads in 72 seconds. They can be fired sequentially. Damage is probably middle of the pack at 16,767. The range is 10 kilometers, which I think is excellent. Speed 62 knots, and detectability range is 1.3 kilometers. AA defense, you see down at the bottom, your secondary gun counts as AA. Unfortunately, it also, when you look at your concealment with this build, 4.9 kilometers, that firing range of the lowest gun, the secondary turret, is going to give you away before you would be detected. So please keep that in mind. Maneuverability, 37.1 knots with that flag we mounted. Turning radius, 610 meters. I think that's pretty fair. Rudder shift, 4 seconds. And keep in mind, our fourth row skill is a 10% penalty to the rudder shift. All right, taking a look at the concealment, 4.9 kilometers on the surface, 2.9 kilometers from the air, and 2.4 when firing in smoke. So that is the Cossack, available in the store, I believe, every day for 12,500 doubloons. And we'll give you a couple matches here to show you what the Cossack is all about. And what the Cossack is all about is you wasting your money on a tier 6 gunboat destroyer that is kind of It's just, to me, not very impressive. All right, we're here on Team Fortune domination match, sixes and sevens. The enemy destroyers are a Cossack, a Benson, an Akizuki, and a Fletcher. I'm sorry, those are terrifying destroyers for me to face. We have a Benham, a Yudachi, so we've got torpedoes covered, and then we also have another Fletcher. And what I mean when I'm denigrating the value of the Cossack here is that if you said to me, rank the hierarchy of tier 6 destroyers by how good they are, the Cossack is never going to be at the top of the list. In fact, I would wager many people would put it at the bottom of the list. Is it better than the Kid? No. Is it better than the Yukikaze? Absolutely not. Is it better than the Asashio? Probably not. Is it better than the Z35? Probably not. Is it better than the Z39? Probably not. Is it better than the Terrible? Absolutely not. Is it better than the Leningrad? No. Is it better than the Blizkovica? I don't think so. Blizkovica has equal to better firepower. Is it better than the Orkan? No. Um, I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I own all those ships except for the Sims. Is it better than the Sims? Yes. So okay, you're better than the Sims, and that could be debatable. I just think the Sims is terrible, so I like to rip on the Sims. But there's a debate if you're a U.S. gunboat main and you love gunboats and you're really good with them and you've ranked up your U.S. commanders, that you could smoke this thing with Sims. I've never seen a Sims in the game to fight one. I think maybe I saw one once, but I never see the Sims, so I have no idea what it would be like fighting the Sims. I just based that on the stats I saw. Didn't look impressive. All right, so back to the game. We went to sea. We see a Fletcher. We launch a couple of torpedoes. We smoke up. We point him out. We're trying to hide. He spots us. So we start shooting. And that wasn't terrible. We can't see him anymore. We're backing up. I hit my hydro, but remember the range is only 3.2 kilometers. So I guess if he continues to advance towards the smoke screen, which is kind of what I would do if I was in the Fletcher, then maybe we would get spotted. And if I would do it, maybe that means it's not a great tactic. Here he launched some torpedoes, but because we anticipated this, we're kind of backing out of the way of them already. And then we're turning back our tail end to keep most of our guns towards where we think the Fletcher would be. He went farther than I thought he would. So as you can see, we're shooting at him. I want to say right here, you might see my secondaries go off at him. So he was in range there briefly, and our teammate swooped in to shoot a bunch of torps at him. That looks like a pretty nice torp spread, but I think they're all going to miss. I put out my other two torps ahead of my teammate. As you can see there on the screen, our Benham took out their Cossack, so there will be no Cossack on Cossack violence today. All right. So while we're waiting to spot the Fletcher, maybe in some of these gunboat on gunboat battles, Your secondary battery will be the thing that puts you up on top. I'm not discounting that because those secondary battery guns do the same amount of damage as the Z35 guns do. So I mean there is that. So there's the Fletcher. He was just camping out in his own smoke, but he is within our sonar range, so we see him. And as you can see here, he is now dead. There, Benson torp dumped, and I think he's going to miss everything. And so I thought maybe the Benson might try to come back around because, I mean, it's still a U.S. destroyer. It still has really good guns for close and gunfighting, but he did not. So I'm just going to launch a couple of torpedoes in case he gets nosy. And then I'm going to use the dearly departed Fletcher smokescreen to continue capping this base. All right, so back to our discussion of where the Cossack fits among the Tier 6 premium destroyers. So I think everyone will agree that the Fletcher, or not the Fletcher, the Kidd is a better Tier 6 destroyer than the Cossack. And the Benham, I'm willing to entertain that some people might say, no, the Benham isn't as good, although the Benham has, what, we have 4 torpedoes. The Benham has 8 per side. So, I mean, and it still has U.S. guns. So, I mean, I don't know. I think you could argue even though the Benham is a torpedo boat, that it's still a ship that could give this thing a big time tussle in a close in gunfight. The Sims, again, I have a low opinion of the Sims. So I'm willing to say, sure, this is better than the Sims. It's not better than Le Terrible. Not, period, the end, not. And I don't care that the Le Terrible doesn't have a smoke screen. It's not. And I think the Leningrad is clearly better than this thing. The Leningrad, its torps don't have the same range, but it's got way better guns. It can engage from farther away. The ballistics of the Leningrad's guns are better. And the Leningrad is flexible enough to do it as a gunboat build or a concealment build due to the torp range. So I think it's clear that the Leningrad is also better. I think both German premiums are better. I think the Z39 and the Z35 are both better than the Cossack. Similarly, I think both of the pan-European destroyers, the Bliskovice and the Cossack, and the Orkan, pardon me, are better than the Cossack. I don't have the Ognivoy. I really would love the Ognivoy, um, but I don't have it, so I just don't know enough to say um, anything more about whether this is better than the Ognivoy or not. But yeah, I think this is easily top or the one of the worst 3 premium destroyers at Tier 6, and I don't think by and large that it's debatable in the player base. I think it's probably debatable if it's the worst or not, but not very. And so we're engaging the Benson, and as you can see here, I should not have slowed down because we took a torp, and our damage con was on reload, so we are dead. But thankfully, one of my torpedoes managed to luckily find the Benson. All right. And so it looks pretty bleak right now. We're down by 150 points, but as we go to the end of the match, hey, we did lose the match. And I had a wholly unimpressive game, 22,000 damage. We did get some nice silver out of that, 580,000 plus, but somehow I ended up at the top of the board with that horrific game. These are the games I have in the Cossack. Nothing impressive occurs, and somehow I managed to end up on a team with everybody worse than me. And as we talk about all the time, I'm a mid 50s winning, more than 52% last time I checked, winning percentage player. So this is not an impressive destroyer. I don't believe I've ever gotten a Kraken with this destroyer. I don't believe I've ever gotten close to a Kraken with this destroyer. So keep that in mind. If you're an average player, unless you love Royal Navy destroyers. This destroyer, and in my opinion, the Tier 5 destroyer, the Gallant, they are not worth your money, in my opinion. All right. I was stupid enough to buy the Gallant. I was stupid enough to buy the Cossack to see if it was bad as everybody said it was. And I think, yes, we've confirmed that it is. All right. We're here on Two Brothers. Let's capture the base. This match is just, you know, like Doogie Howser once said, legend, wait for it, Derry. I mean, this is things are going to happen in this match that literally blew my mind that I didn't even realize until I was watching the replay. So it's a beneficial match. The enemy destroyer, the sole enemy destroyer is a Minsk. Even though I like the Minsk, and I've had much better games than the Minsk that I've ever had in this ship, I feel confident I can beat the Minsk in a gunfight. And we are top tier. So we're just sailing out here. We're just doing our thing. We're going to sail out here. We're going to spot the enemy. We're going to launch our one torpedo rack. And then we're going to see if we can use our guns to set people on fire or sink the Minsk or whatever. Because, I mean, let's be honest, you can't really do anything else in this thing. All right. So we're sailing out here. Here's the Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a very interesting battleship, battle cruiser. I do have a review of the Dunkirk scheduled to appear probably. Oh, I'll just put the card in because this is gonna get shown after my Dunkirk video comes out. So, all right, there's the enemy mints. There's the Dunkirk. There's the Bayern. There's the is that a Trento? So there's a lot of ships over there. So I just launch all four of my torpedoes towards that big cloud of smoke. I'm not sure I would have done that, but that's just me. I'm stingy with my smoke. What can I say? I remember in the olden days, you would lay down a smoke screen and then your teammates would just sail right through it. So I don't do that with my smoke anymore. That doesn't mean if you're getting fired on and you're a battleship on my team, I can screen you by smoke that I won't do it. But I would never do it at the beginning of the match like that. All right, so we sailed in a big circle because I'm running away. And it appears I have a battleship over here helping me out, and the rest of my team is intent on defending our cap circle. So there's the California, just kind of keep track of him, but he's turning in, so I'm not going to torp at him. And waiting for that smoke cloud to dissipate. And there's the entire blue team. And there is the mints. So I point out the mints to my teammates. I get these guns lined up. And we are going to engage the Minsk. And as you can see, I am not leading him enough. So I start leading him a little bit more. Oh, sorry, that's Cruiser out here with us, not a battleship. Sorry, Mr. Cruiser. And the Minsk is doing an adequate job of speeding up and slowing down. I think my teammate really crushed him there with a good salvo. He was hurting after that. And as you can see, I'm doing a great job of either shooting ahead of him or shooting behind him, mostly behind him. Honest, I'm trying to knock out his propulsion. Honest. All right, his torpedoes are relatively easy to dodge. And he put his broadside to the entire blue team. What are my teammates doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? This is like one of those moments in the military where everybody in your squad decides they're going to play a joke on you. So when the first sergeant asks for volunteers, they wait 1 second, then everybody takes one step to the rear. And then makes it look like you took a step forward and volunteered. That's what my team just did to me. That's what the blue team did. The entire blue team Save the cruiser that's already dead, and one battleship, and maybe, all right, maybe two battleships, went up the middle on two brothers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is why I never feel bad when I do things that aren't necessarily team plays in this game anymore. Because your teammates do things and they just make you want to grab a bottle of Everclear and chug it in order to forget what is happening in this game right now. And I mean, imagine this, but in ranked. Okay. One, two, three, four, five of our teammates, mostly battleships, have left me out here all alone on this flank. There's a friendly battleship far behind our cap, and literally everybody else went up the middle. Where all these ships can still shoot at them pretty much. So somebody help me understand. Explain it to me. Allegedly, I have a high IQ. I should be able to understand this. Maybe this is like the hidden ball trick or something. Like in the NFL where they snap it and just put it on the ground, and then the guard picks it up and runs to the hole for a touchdown. I mean, I don't know. Was that it? Is that what went on? So we're supposed to be reviewing the Cossack. Is that right? So I mean, look, I'm not going full speed because I like to slow down in the turns to help me turn a little bit quicker. I mean, it's not very fast. It's not very fast. The only other destroyer is dead. I don't shoot torpedoes very often, and when I do, clearly they don't go very fast, so they miss a lot. Although they are 10 kilometers faster in the water than Italian torpedoes. So, I mean, there is that. But let's be honest. If you were making a list of the worst premium ships in the game, the Trento, or not the Trento, the Leon, might be the second or third worst premium ship in the game. And there are tier two premium ships. I mean, it's bad. So, really, I guess the question I want to ask in this video while we're waiting for me to do absolutely nothing here with my 5,330 damage is what is a worse destroyer, the Gallant or the Leon? And are either of them worth 10,000 doubloons? And if you bought either the Gallant or the Leon, should you be able to file a class action lawsuit and seek damages against Wargaming for fraud? I just thought I'd throw that out there. In the meantime, we did get a couple of torpedo strikes on the California, and we did get a little bit of flooding damage that you sense damage conned, and since oh look, the enemy battleship came over here to help me out. Well, that is great. So I decide maybe I can shoot again at the California and finish them off. I just don't know. Meanwhile, the Dunkirk has gone into our capture circle and destroyed the battleship that was behind us. So yeah, this is just a scintillating match. Aren't you glad you tuned in to watch this? I am. Hey, I want to mention I got a 14th subscriber recently after my Z35 video, and I want to thank whoever that is very much. Clearly, you must like really average gameplay, or you felt sorry for me. Either way, I'll take it. Beggars can't be choosers. All right, so we're looking. I think they're having a lot more success capturing the base than our entire team is. So I realized that sooner or later here, I'm going to have to put my precious ship at risk and do something. So I get that reload and I fire some torpedoes at the Dunkirk. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to do it. So I get some resets and some defended flags, and I feel very proud of myself. As you can see, all of those shells are literally shattering. 2 out of 15 shells actually did something. Oh, he set a fire. Well, I'm pretty happy about that. He instantly damage conned it, looked like. I'm also pretty happy about that. So I did the curly Q maneuver here, and we do get a couple of torpedo strikes. And you will start to watch the flood damage pile up in a way that I can only describe as not very impressive. But it was enough to help my teammates secure victory. All right, so look at that. We'll go to the tote board. A whopping 56,048 total damage, and we are at the top of the board. Ladies and gentlemen, I've shown you 2 matches where we are at the top of the board with the Cossack, and they were totally unimpressive games. I really don't advise buying this ship unless you love Royal Navy destroyers. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like, subscribe button. See you on the next video.